What is going on, guys? My name is Barrender Developer B, and welcome back to episode 27 of the Bukkit coding tutorial series. And in this episode, I'm going to teach you guys about random and probability. And pretty much what a random is it is a Java class that allows you to generate a random number, and this allows for you to create things like mystery boxes and other things, such as in Hypixel. If you look at their mystery box system, it'll generate a random thing out of the box, which is using a random. So today we're going to be actually creating our own type of mystery box. It's not going to be the same as Hypixel's because theirs is really nice, but you know, it's going to be pretty nice. So let's go ahead and learn how to do this. First, I'm going to go over the random and how we're going to incorporate random in this. And in the end, I'm going to add the probability aspect and how to use probability with random so you can make like a rare, epic, or legendary item, kind of like in some other servers. So pretty much here is our general layout for the plugin. We have our box listener. This is going to be our pretty much inventory events. We're going to have a bunch of inventory events. That's pretty much all the box is going to be is inside of an inventory. And we have a box command which opens the box. And we're going to have a config which stores the items, pretty much the item descriptions of what we want to have come out of the box, which is going to be really useful later, and I'll show you what that is. So let's go ahead and go in here first, and pretty much this is just going to open the box, and it is going to allow us to start the roll of the random item inside of the box. So we're pretty much going to generate a random item, but we're going to add an effect to it that's going to be really cool, and I'll show you. So we're going to create an inventory, and we're going to make it have 9 slots. So we're going to say null 9, and we're going to call it the mystery box. So it's going to be like that. And we are actually going to have a cool little feature. It's going to be called a Reese Pin, and pretty much this item is going to allow the user to respin the mystery box if they don't get something they like. And a quick side note, I'm not going to be having this like using a currency system for this, because you guys can create your own currency system and make it cost money, but it's pretty much just going to be free. So this pretty much will just allow the user to do it over and over again without having to like pay some sort of coinage or something. But you guys can definitely implement that if you want to, but I'm not going to because it's kind of useless for this plugin. So we're just going to say respin.getItemMeta, and we're going to set the display name to chatcolor.yellow. We're going to call this respin, like so. Let's go down here and say list of string lore equals new array list, not arithmetic exception, array list, and we're going to lore.add chatcolor.gray, and we are just going to say click to respin the mystery box. There we go. And then we can say meta.set lore to lore, and respin.set item not return respin.set item meta to meta, and there we go. And now we can just go ahead and put this item inside of the inventory. We're going to put in the last slot, so 8. So you remember it goes from 0 to 8 if we have 9 slots. So we're going to put in the 8th slot, respin. There we go. And now all we have to do is player.openInventoryInv, and we are done with this command. So that's pretty much all we're going to have in this command. We're not going to do anything here, but because you're probably going to be like, oh, it only has this, like where's the random item stuff? Well, we're going to put it in here in this inventory open event. So we're done with this and we don't need it anymore. So we're going to go over here. And as you can see, I have this constructor right here, and it just has our basic stuff. And we're going to go right here, and we are actually going to be using some new events. I don't know if I've used these before, an inventory open and close event, but here they are. They're pretty basic general stuff. So just in case, we're going to make a little variable for that just so we can get that out of the way. And this is really useful because all of the players in this are human entities, so we have to cast them, and it's just nice to make a variable so we don't have to cast them every single time. So now we can check inv.getName.equals ignore case, and it is going to be mystery box. We're going to check if this is the mystery box, and if it is, then we are going to create an array list of items. And this is going to pretty much grab all of our items from the config that we have put in there. And there's not going to be a command to put items in there. You just go in there and manually do it. It's not that hard. But we're gonna have a for loop in here, and it's going to be string item, and it's going to come from the item string list of the configuration. So just go ahead and say get string list items, and there we go, we have our items. Now we actually want to go ahead and start creating these items. So pretty much we are going to do items.add a new item stack, and we are going to add material.value of, and this is going to get the value of a string. So we can go ahead and say item.to uppercase, so it's going to be lowercase when you put it in there, or uppercase, but it's easier to put it in lowercase, and we can just manually uppercase it right there. And then we're going to have an amount of the item. So we're just going to have integer.parseInt, and remember this turns a string into an integer. Description 1. Oops, I forgot to actually create our string array. I completely forgot to do that. So we're going to create a string array called description, and this is going to split this string up. You guys probably didn't know what I was doing, but now it'll make more sense. So we're going to create this string array called description, and we're going to split this string up, which is a value inside of here, by the comma. And I'll explain it later. I'll actually show it right here. I actually do show it. It's going to look like this. We're going to have our value, which is diamond axe. And as you can see, that is a material. If we type material.diamond axe, see, so you can see it does that, and it's just going to make it uppercase. And then we have our amount right here, which I put 234, and that's going to be this. So we're just going to parse this, and then we're going to have our durability. So that is pretty much going to allow us to actually transition from ink sacks. Like if you want a different ink sack, we're just making it like really useful, so it's useful for everyone. So you're not like, oh, I want to get an ink sack in here or something, or like a red dye. Then you can use the durability to change those dyes, and you can set the durability of the tools in there and stuff. I don't know why you would want to do that, but maybe useful. So now we are going to say integer, or actually we need to make it a short because the durability is a short instead of integer. And we're going to say integer.parseInt of description 2. And there we go. We're going to add probability here later, so you can add a little to do and say add probability. Oops. Probability. We're going to add it right here. It's going to be like one for loop. It's super easy. So yeah, now you may think like, oh, this is it. We're just going to add an item. No, we have to actually choose an item now. So we added all these items. Now we got to choose them. So we're going to go in here, and we actually need to create some stuff up here that I almost forgot to do. We first need to create a hash map, and this hash map is going to store a player inside of an integer, and this is going to be our tasks. So this is going to be tasks, and what this is going to do is allow us to save a player and do a task ID, which I will explain later. And then we're going to have an integer. We're just going to call it task, and there we go. So right here, down here, we're going to make a little effect where it like is cycling through the items that it's choosing one. So it's going to like flip through the different items, and then it's going to stop on one, and you can grab that item. But you will not be able to grab the item while it's like skipping through them and stuff. It's hard to explain, but it'll make a lot more sense once we're in game. So just follow along, and you'll be like, oh, that's what I'm doing. So pretty much the first thing that we're going to do is set up our task, and we're going to set this task equal to bucket.getScheduler.schedule a sync repeating task. And you're probably like, how did we just set an integer to a sync repeating task? How does that make sense? Well, if you look, this actually returns an integer. As you can see, it's an int, schedule a repeating task. So it returns an integer, and what it's returning is its task ID, so we can cancel this task later, which I will show you how to do. So we are actually going to do this. We're just going to say plugin. We're going to create a runnable. Make sure to use this lambda. It's really useful, and it's annoying if you don't use it. So just go ahead and use that lambda. And then right here, we're going to have 0, and you want to use 2 or 3 because this is going to be fast. It's not going to be a second cycle. It's going to be really slow. We're going to make it 2 or 3 ticks so it looks pretty good. I'm going to go with 3. Switch it up to 2 later for the probability, just to show you guys the difference, but it's going to be on 2 or 3. It's going to look good. And then right in here, all we have to do is say imb.setItem0, which is going to be the slot where we're going to flip all the items. We're going to imb.setItem to our random item that we have not generated yet, which I have to do right now. So we are actually going to start using this random right now. So we're going to say random r equals a new random, and that's how you create a random. And once you have that random created, it can pretty much be used everywhere else, so you only need to initiate it once. Don't initiate it inside here. It's kind of pointless. And once we go inside of here, I don't know why this is, I don't know what that means, but I'm just going to leave it there. And we are going to say int index equals r.nextInt, and then all we have to do is inside of here, all we have to say is items.size, and that is going to allow us to cycle through the size of the items, and it's going to choose one number from inside. So you can put any number in here like 4, and it's going to cycle 0 through 3 because it starts with 0. Or if you put 100, it's going to be 0 through 99, etc. We're just putting items.size in here, and it's going to cycle through however many items. So if there were 6 items, it would be 0 to 5. And this is useful because it goes from 0 to 5. Guess what that means? And why is it called index? Because we're going to be able to get the index of this. So all we have to do is say items.get 0, or actually not 0, index, and then it will just get the index of this random item that we just generated. And as you can see, it's going to generate a random item every 3 ticks, and it's going to put it in here. And once this task cancels, then it's going to stop on that item. So this is incorporating a ton of stuff that we've learned. Maybe a little bit confusing, but it will make sense in the end. Now we're going to move on to the player task. Now, why did we create this? Well, I'll show you in a second. So we're going to go ahead and say player, or actually tasks dot put, and we're going to put this player in a delayed task. So it's going to be a delayed task, and this is how long we're going to want to have this task running. So how long we're going to want it to cycle through these items. And we're not going to put it in a config anything. We're just going to call it from right in here. It's going to be a delayed task. We don't have to do any one of those fancy cooldowns. We just do our basic, this is from cooldowns episode 1, like complete basic delayed task. And let's do this thing again. And then all we have to do is actually go ahead and just put how long. We're going to have it for 3 seconds. I've found that's a good time. Just 3 seconds, 1, 2, 3, and then it chooses the item. That's really, really good. It looks a lot longer, but it really isn't. And all we're going to do is say Bukkit.getScheduler, and we're just going to cancel the task. And look at that. It actually is going to cancel this task, which is an integer. It's going to cancel it because this is the task ID that we're calling it to, and it's canceling that task ID, which pretty much means it's canceling this task right here that we established. And that's why we have it up here, so we can use it throughout different things. And we're going to cancel it right here too. So there we go. We canceled the task, and now all we have to do is say tasks.remove player, and it's just going to remove the player from the tasks. So we do that, and then we are done, because obviously this is a delayed task, so it cancels on its own. Now we are actually done with this right now, and they'll be able to remove the item, but then nothing's going to happen. There's going to be no items or anything. And that's where this inventory click event comes in, because we're going to do this Reese Pin. But anyway, we're going to do this. This is just going to be a little bit of just a handling class, nothing big. We're going to say player equals player, e.get player. And that is going to pretty much allow us to get the player. I already said that. And then we can say e.get inventory.get name equals ignore case mystery box. And then we are just going to go ahead and pretty much we are handling this, because in an inventory close event, what if it's cycling through this and we close it? Then it's going to glitch out, or it's going to, I don't know what's going to happen. It's just not going to be good. We just want to handle it just to be safe. So we are going to go ahead and say if tasks.contains key player as well. So if that's the inventory and the task contains the player, then we're going to actually remove the player from the tasks. And we are going to actually say player, actually tasks.get player get player. Wait, this is an integer, so we have to put it inside of here. So we're going to say Bukkit.getScheduler dot cancel task, and we're going to cancel this task right here, which is a task at the player. There we go. We canceled this task right here because it's going to still be running. And then we are going to just cancel the regular task, which we've already done. Just cancel the task. And then we're going to remove the player, and we are good to go. That's all we have to do for the inventory close event. Now, this is going to be the big one because this is going to allow us to respin over and over again for a different item. So we are first going to make our inventory inv equals e.get inventory and our player variable. And this is actually going to be e.get who clicked instead of e.get player. And now we can check for the inventory name dot equals ignore case mystery box. It's going to be a long tutorial. It's a pretty big plugin. And then we can go ahead and check. Actually, we don't have to check for anything. We actually are going to check for the current item. We're going to say get type, and we're going to check if it's a chest. And if it is a chest, we're just going to cancel it because we do not want them to be able to take this right here, which is the chest. It's a chest, the respin item. And we're just going to say cancel true, but we are also going to respin. So we can go ahead and actually go up here first and then say if tasks dot contains key player, then we're going to want to completely cancel them because we do not want the player to be able to take an item while this task is running, while it's cycling through them. So we're going to cancel that, and we're going to cancel the chest. We have to do these separately, and we have to pretty much just copy and paste this right here like so. So just go ahead and copy and paste all of this, even the to do, because we're going to add the thing in there too. And there we go. So we are pretty much done, to be honest. All we had to do was go ahead and make a click event for this and just rerun this over and over again. So it's kind of two different things, but pretty much done. There isn't much else we can do. So let's go ahead and build this. So let's go to mystery box and build. And I will show you what types of items are inside of the config. So here we are on the server. Let's go and check out the config for a second. So let's go to mystery box and config. And here we have some items that I just threw in here. This is what the format's going to look like. I threw in a diamond, gold ingot, iron block, gold block, diamond block, and a cake just for fun. So they're a total of 7 items, and we're going to be cycling through those. So let's go ahead and go into the server and see. But remember, we're going to go back and do some probability in this. So, and the reason why I have these at 0, the durability, is just because that's the default value. So just set those to 0 if you want a default, and then this pretty much is the amount. So let's go ahead and reload the server and test out this cool little box that we made. So as you can see, when we type /box, it is going to do nothing. And let's see what we did wrong. Oh my god, I'm an idiot. We need to have this at description 0. I don't know why. I'm sorry. I accidentally made this first and I just forgot to change it. Make sure that's at description 0. I'm really sorry for that. But let's go ahead and rebuild that. You guys are probably like, go back, developer B, and look at it. I'm sorry. Go back, developer B, and look at it. And I forgot to type .2 uppercase. That's what I forgot to do right there, is 2 uppercase. I did it down here, but I forgot to do it up there. Now let's go ahead and build it and try this again. And now it's going to work 100%. I know it's going to. As you can see, guys, it is cycling through them, and we have our random item. We can hit respin, and it's going to respin them. And as you can see, we can't grab them while it is spinning. We can only grab them after it's done, which is going to be that. And I'm sorry about that. Sorry. But we actually did it. But now that's kind of boring. Like, there's no chance, you know, it's random. You can see it's random. Like, it's just giving us random items. Like, there's no luck or anything in there. But we are going to implement that right now. And this is going to be really cool. So how do you add probability? Well, we have to add a new value in our config. But we're going to go ahead and remove this to do. We're going to make a for loop. And we are going to pretty much add this item the certain amount of times that we want to, and it'll make more sense in a second. If we add the numbers up to 100 and we do them differently, that's going to be our percent chance, and I'll show you what it means. So we are going to say description of 3, which is our new value, but we need to say integer dot parse int of description 3, and then we can do that, and then we can say I++, go like this, and boom, there we go. That's all you have to do, guys, is just do that, and you can just copy it down here, and then we'll be good. So just go ahead, select all of this stuff, boom, and we are done with our probability. That's literally all the probability that you have to have is right there. And I will show you what you have to do to the config right now, right after we run this. So let's go ahead and build it, and I'll show you what I mean. So let's go inside of this config and add our new value, which is going to be right here. And we're going to change this to, let's put it a diamond really rare. We're going to put it at 5%. So we're going to have that at 5%. We're going to have gold ingot. It's going to be a little bit more rare. Let's make it like 15% maybe, or actually 20%. And right here, we're going to have our iron ingot super common at like 40%. So we have 65 so far. So we have to accumulate for these. Iron blocks are going to be a little bit more rare. So we're going to make that at 20. Gold block is going to be 10. Diamond block is going to be super rare. So how much do we have so far? 30, 70, 90, 95. We're actually going to make this 3, which is going to be 98. And we're going to make cake the most rare thing ever at 2. So now we have 100 filled up, and these are each percent. So 2%, 3%, 10%, 20%, 40%, 20%, and 5%. That's a pretty good system for going straight off the dome. So this was straight off the dome. So let's go ahead, save that, go in here and reload, see what happens. So we are going to, actually we forgot to do something. Go in here and change this to 2 and see it's going to be faster. It's just going to be a little bit faster. So let's go ahead and change that to 2 and build, and go in the game and reload. Now it's going to be a little bit faster. Let's go ahead and see what happens. Box. So you can see it's a little bit faster. And what did we get? We got gold ingot. How rare is that? That is a 20% chance. So that's common, obviously, but we have to keep doing this to see if it's true. So as you can see, we got iron, which is really common. Let's try it again. Iron, common. See, as you can see, we're getting the common item, which is iron. We're going to get that. We're going to get the 2 common items, which is iron and gold. And if we get a rare item, that's going to be really cool. Here's a little bit rare. That's at 20%, but that's the same as a gold ingot, so it's not that rare. Another common item. We need to get 1 good item. If we get a cake, we're done. We're done. So we're getting common items right now. We need to get the really rare item, which is the cake. That is the ultimate item, the cake. Let's go ahead. Let's see it. Oh. Cake, here I come. Cake is coming. It's coming. Ooh. I'm going to take that. I've been rolling for so long, but we got a 3% rarity item, and I'm set. So that is going to be it for the episode. I've been rolling forever, and I was trying. I didn't want to record all of it because it was so long, but I just wanted to get a rare item, and we did. We finally got the block of diamond, and we had a bunch of diamonds and stuff, but this is the real gem. But we never got the cake, guys. We never got it. I'm going to come back for revenge and get that cake. But anyways, thank you guys for watching, and I will see you guys in episode 28.